In this lesson, we're going to look at switch statements. So previously we looked at conditions and we saw really how we can apply some really nice logic and gets the output that we're looking for. So this is going to work similar, but it's going to give us if we've got a lot more options. So we initiate it by switch, and here we add in what the expression is. So expression is going to be a value that we're going to look for, and we're going to return content accordingly. So if the value of, so let's set a value for e equals 5, and we're going to switch on e. So we're going to do case, and we're going to take a look to see if the value of e is equal to 4, then this is what gets output, and maybe we're going to say something like, so I'll declare variable f, or maybe variable f and it's equal to 0. So we'll start out with that, and here I'm going to declare a variable, a value for f, and this is going to be 4. So just write it out in a string value there. And we also have to make sure that we add in the breaks, otherwise that it'll just keep running through all the different cases. So case 5 colon, and we're going to say f is equal to 5, and break that, and maybe we can even copy that out. So if the value, if case is 6, then we'll return back 6, and so on. And also with cases, we can set a default. So if none of them return back matching, we can just have a default return value. So the default, we could say something like f is equal to not found. So let's take a look and see what actually gets returned, and then over here I should console log out the value of f so that we can see that output within the console. So let's open that up, refresh it, and we see console loft is not found, so that should be updated to console log. So let me refresh that, and we see we get a value of 5. So if I was to change this to 8 and refresh it, so it goes to not found. And the interesting thing here is that I can change this to a string as well. So I can do something over here where I've got case, and I can just identify it. So these were just being numerically identified, so I can identify it by case hello world colon, and here we'll just give a value for f. So I'm going to type in string, so when it does return back, if the case of the switch value, that needle there of e, is equal to hello world, then we're going to break it at this point. So let's check this out now and refresh it. So we see that now we've got the output of string, so because it matches e is equivalent to hello world, and we're looking through all these different needles and it's not equal to 4, and these are just integer values, so numeric values, so they don't have quotes around them, but when it hits the matching value for e of hello world, then it knows what to do, and it runs through and renders out this chunk of code until it hits break, and then it stops rendering out that code and leaves the switch statement, and over here goes to the console log and outputs the value of f. And so that's how you use switch statement, and picking the correct one that you want to use is depending on the scenario. So this one would be the most simplest if you've just got some simple string values that you want to return. Here, these conditional if statements, if you've got if and else, if you've got a set of code to run through, and if you've got a really complex set of possibilities here that gets returned back for those values, and you're looking for a particular value that has a needle, then you could take a look at that and return them back via the case. So if you know what values you should be expecting, then you could use switches. So again, depending on what type of logic that you're applying within your JavaScript would be the one that you'd use.